All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we have to address some more information that is out there, dubious information about Errol Spence Jr.'s camp and what is transpired, changes in coaches, and I don't know what Derrick James has done to deserve the treatment that he gets, but let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to get rid of some more stuff that is out there about Errol Spence Jr.'s camp. It seems very fashionable to make stuff up about Errol Spence Jr., Derrick James, and what's going on with their camp. And in this particular instance, we can definitely say it's made up because it's something that has been 100% refuted by every party involved. But yet, every other week, the same information comes out despite what is clearly the case. And that is that Derrick James has been fired by Errol Spence Jr. and that Derrick James has been fired by Anthony Joshua and that Derrick James has been fired by Ryan Garcia, and that Derrick James has been fired by Frank Martin. All of these people have fired Derrick James inside the last 5 months. Now, before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you very much for your continued support. But let's get into this, man, because honestly, a man doesn't deserve this. It is just so over the top and so ridiculous at this point in time that every time the news cycles in boxing dips a little bit and it seems like people want to say something about Errol Spence Jr., and I can understand that. Errol Spence Jr. is a very popular fighter. If he has something that his camp says it's newsworthy, if there's something that he says it's newsworthy, it is something that people are going to talk about. Got it, right? However, beating the same dead horse over and over and over again and misleading people is just, it's so over the top and it's really not fair to the man. So what's the newest bit? That Ryan Garcia stated in some audio that he is the last fighter, he will be the last fighter with Derrick James. So he is pretty much saying that he is being loyal to Derrick James. But somehow, because of the way that he phrases it, that's taken to mean everybody else fired him. How much more can you bend what somebody says? I'm loyal to Derrick James. I'll be the last man standing. Not a direct quote, paraphrase, right? But that means, oh, Derrick James got fired by Errol Spence and everybody else in his camp fired him because Ryan Garcia says he'll be the last guy with him. It's just a phrase. However, we know this is not true. And why do we know this is not true? We know this is not true because Derrick James was in an interview right before the Ryan Garcia fight started and asked questions about what was going on with Errol Spence Jr. and said, look, no, Errol's not in camp yet, but his mind is in a good place. And we don't know what the weight for the fight is going to be or whatever. I'm not getting into that. But hey, man, he's in a really good state of mind. Clearly speaking, as if he's the man's coach the day before. Now, if that's not enough, let's look at all of the other times that the same people keep saying the man is fired. How many times? Anthony Joshua was supposed to be fired him. Why? Because Anthony Joshua took a picture with Ben Davison in the UK, hit the bag with Ben Davison in the UK. Well, what happened? After that, you see Derrick James sitting right next to Anthony Joshua at a podium and announcing fights on December 23rd. Derrick James is right there in Saudi Arabia sitting right next to Anthony Joshua. So clearly that statement was not true, was not real. Then what else did you hear? We also heard that Ryan Garcia fired him. Now, clearly Ryan Garcia didn't fire him when it was said about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, that Ryan Garcia fired him, said by the same people, by the way, that Ryan Garcia fired him. Well, clearly Ryan Garcia didn't fire him because he was in the gym. Ryan Garcia was in the gym. Was in the ring with Derrick James just last Saturday. So clearly that wasn't true. How many times are we going to continue to say the same things about Derrick James, that Derrick James got fired? I can understand it like one time, 2 times. I can understand it after the Errol Spence Jr. fight, wondering whether or not Errol's going to need a different trainer because somebody out there in Dallas may have mentioned it, or there may have been somebody on the team that or around the team that was disgruntled by the performance of Errol Spence in the Terrence Crawford fight. I talked about that. That's based off what people are saying. Okay, that may be the case. But man, how many times are we going to do it to the man? Like just continuing to tear down this man's reputation and put stuff out there in the media over and over about how he's going to be fired and how he's a bad trainer. And man, come on. This man is doing his job. He brought Anthony Joshua back to a win off of back-to-back losses. Anthony Joshua was happy with him. He just got Ryan Garcia ahead, his very first fight with Ryan Garcia. Now, I do believe this was the very first fight with Ryan Garcia. According to some people, Ryan Garcia was going to fire him before his first fight. He hadn't even had a fight with him, and Ryan Garcia was going to fire him. Look, man, it's ridiculous at this point in time. If Derrick James no longer is training somebody, then okay, he's no longer training somebody. They made a move on it. But to keep making stuff up about this man losing his job, it's just at this point in time, man, it's just over the top, man, and it's piling on. There are other professional trainers that are no longer coaching fighters. I don't believe that certain fighters, and they don't get all of this. I do not believe that Brian McIntyre is still coaching Jamel Herring. After Jamel Herring lost to Shakur Stevenson, Jamel Herring was not with Bomac anymore. I don't remember all of this stuff about Jamel firing Bomac and what a bad trainer Bomac is because Jamel Herring lost to Shakur Stevenson, and I don't really see that it's that big a difference between what happened in the Errol Spence Jr. fight. Terrence Crawford is an excellent fighter, and anybody could lose to him. But man, it's just the stories that go on around that stuff is crazy. And I'm not talking about just, having a sensational headline out there or something. You have a sensational headline getting people's attention. I understand it, but this is just flat out, let's just make the dude look bad. Let's just make the dude look bad and keep bringing up questions about whether or not this guy is been fired or not. Same thing goes on with Floyd Mayweather Jr. consistently. It's just a lot of negativity out there, man. And I think that conversation is absolutely ridiculous, especially considering the fact that Derrick James literally in the media the day before the fight, talking about Errol Spence Jr. And he was asked about why do people keep saying you're not with the camp? And he said, man, I don't know why people keep saying that. They keep saying it so they can get people's attention on him. And at the same time, dog Derrick James. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know, please, what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.